Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade, and we don't have that much time, so let's get to it. We've got a controversy surrounding the Union Air Jordan 2, Elon Musk buying Twitter, the week's hottest releases, and of course, this week's Hard Pass. So let's dive into that picture that hurt a lot of sneakerheads over the past week or so. As many of you know, the Union Air Jordan 2 launch was not great. It's a little bit of a shocker because Union received a ton of praise for how they handled the launch of the Air Jordan 4 collabs in 2020 and 21. Because of the limited nature of the sneakers, obviously not everybody got a pair, but the process left most people feeling like at least there was a genuine attempt to give everybody a fair chance. That was not the case for the Jordan 2. According to Union's statement, they were overwhelmed by the demand, i.e. bots, that flooded the site on launch day, causing an array of problems, including the website crashing, multiple charges on orders, and issues recovering confirmed purchases. Union was doing all that they could to resolve all the issues, but the damage was done. It's not going to be easy to build up that goodwill again, especially from those who got charged multiple times and may never actually get a pair. That's why a picture from noted reseller Benjamin Kapelushnik, aka Benjamin Kicks, is getting a lot of heat and not the good kind. If you followed the sneaker game for the past several years, you've no doubt heard of Ben or come across his socials. He's the one you often see getting shoutouts from celebrities with top-level sneaker games. It's because he's able to secure the most hyped sneakers around for his clientele, no matter how rare they are. So seeing a picture of him surrounded by hot sneakers is nothing new. It's kind of boring, actually, but his latest pick with stacks upon stacks of Union Jordan 2s got a lot of people in their feelings, along with the regular complaints about Ben using his mommy's credit card and whatnot. People were blaming Union for backdooring pairs to Ben in a manner that was not unlike the controversy surrounding the Air Jordan 1 trophy room release. Somewhat surprisingly, though, Ben responded via an IG story that Nice Kick saved, and I quote, "Everyone is blaming Union, and it's so funny because I don't know what everyone doesn't understand. I've been doing this, and I keep doing this. My back door's so big, only I can stop me. I've been doing it since 2016, and I love it here. Every release you guys blame a new store. What if my back door isn't a store, but it's the blank, blank, blank themselves?" That's how I imagine Ben sounds. I know he doesn't, but in my mind, when I see pictures of him, that's what I see. Anyways, if you took that post at face value, you would think he was outing his connection, which would be people who work at Nike. And as you expect, that got sneakerheads all in their feelings again, with the vitriol this time directed at Nike. You know, the status quo. People being mad at Nike for not getting the shoes they want is a tale as old as time. My take is that Ben posted that IG story because he saw that Union was taking a ton of flack for his picture on top of what they were already getting for the botched release. By saying he's been at this reselling game long before Union blew up in national prominence, he was absolving Union of blame and transferring the heat back to him and Nike. Are there ulterior motives? Maybe. Or he could really be flaunting that people at Nike are his connection and there's not a damn thing that anybody can do about it. In other words, it's the sneaker game, y'all. Y'all want all of this to stop? Become disciplined, celebrities included, and stop paying resale. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. It's time for the Heat Check, where we bring you everything that's dropping this week. We have the Nike Dunk Low Fossil Rose on the 4th for $110, the women's Nike Dunk High White and Prime Rose on the 5th for $115, the Dunk Low Championship Court Purple on the 5th for $100, the Nike Dunk Low Women's Patchwork on the 5th for $110, the women's Dunk Low Next Nature Basic on the 5th for $105, the Jordan 9 Chili Red on the 7th for $200, and then the Air Max 1 Tree Line on the 7th for $150. And then for the Yeezy of the week, we have the Adidas Yeezy 450 Sulfur on the 7th for $200. According to the National Library of Medicine, sulfur is a chemical element with symbol S and atomic number 16. Classified as a non-metal, sulfur is a solid at room temperature. Sulfur was known as brimstone for a combustible stone from which brimstone is derived. It was known from prehistoric times and thought to contain hydrogen and oxygen. And then our pick of the week is the Jordan 1 Stash on the 3rd for $175. It's basically a Jordan 1 with a fanny pack. Remember when we thought putting weed pockets on sneakers was a novel idea? Anyways, this new iteration of the Jordan 1 takes that to the next level, ensuring that your TSA checks will be even more inconvenient than they already were. But they look cool, so that's a plus, I guess. Now for a heat check on Twitter. After a few weeks of teasing and trolling, which are basically the same thing in 2022, let's be honest, Elon Musk is on the verge of purchasing Twitter, the social media platform that we as a society gave too much power because we got tired of reading what our high school friends really thought about Beyonce on Facebook. Musk is promising big changes to Twitter, including the long-awaited edit feature, a reinvigorated battle to combat bots and spam accounts, double down on a premium subscription version, crypto, yada, 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 and opening the algorithm. All in the name of transparency. Oh, and there's the whole thing about possibly letting the worst people back on the platform because Twitter is the, quote, digital town square, end quote, where everybody should have a voice or whatever. So, instead of working on cool stuff like Teslas, SpaceX, and flamethrowers that weren't actually flamethrowers, man, remember when flamethrowers that weren't actually flamethrowers? Anyway, Elon is going to devote a bunch of his precious time trying to, quote, solve Twitter. He's so serious about this deal that he even borrowed against his Tesla stock to make this happen. Of course, Tesla stock dropped a fifth after the news of the Twitter acquisition broke, wiping out over $125 billion in value, but who's counting, right? It'll bounce back, right? Tesla is like Netflix, totally bulletproof. Depending on how much the Tesla stock plunges, it's possible, though, that the sale doesn't actually go through. Anyways, our boy thinks he's got the secret sauce that will make Twitter cool like it's 2012 again. My take? He's going to learn the same lessons Jack Dorsey learned, and the board learned, and the engineers who work there learned. Twitter kinda sucks. Actually, scratch that. Twitter sucks, period. Like, yay, give us an edit button. According to numerous tech sites, the company's been working on that feature for a while now. Elon taking credit for that is like if the Nets won the title and Kyrie was like, see? Introducing a premium subscription version of Twitter is something I would be curious to check out, but you know what was also a good idea? Twitter being free. Haven't we learned anything from all the "I can't believe this app is free" tweets? Ditching all of the advertising and hoping power users and popular figures with massive followings will pay for all of Twitter? Sounds risky. Eliminating bots is a great idea, but what about alt accounts? One of Elon's grand ideas is verifying everybody, which is some "you're special just like everybody else." What's the value of a blue check if everybody has the blue check? And what info am I handing over to Twitter to become verified in Elon's world? I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with Twitter becoming the internet DMV. My golf takes aren't worth handing over whatever amount it'll cost to maintain my account, along with my social security number and home address. And then there's this whole thing about free speech and that Twitter needs to be some sort of bastion of that. Like, why? If anything, we're all gonna learn what exactly the limits are. Oh, I wasn't talking about Twitter's limitations, which many people believe to be anything I believe in falls in under free speech and anything I don't believe in is hate speech. I was talking about Elon's limits. When he claims to be a free speech absolutist, he is saying with his whole chest that he will never take down a tweet and defends everybody's right to it, no matter how false, disgusting, and heinous a tweet might be. To which I will call bullshit. He's already hedging in regards to other countries that aren't as liberal as America, saying he'll follow the laws of other countries in regards to what they can and can't say. So for example, if you run a country where half of the world's Teslas are made and you run a pretty tight ship, Twitter, free speech absolutist playground, is your bitch. And you know, if you feel like it. And if you're one of the many who are cheering this purchase on, thinking Elon's on your side, wait till you cross him. And you will. Because he's not the one-sided caricature a lot of people think he is. Here's the thing. I don't actually give a shit. But sure, let's all root for Elon Musk's Twitter, pending his Tesla stock holding up to fix Twitter. Can you imagine the memes if he screws this up and loses Tesla in the process? His fans turning heel on him will hurt more than losing Tesla, I bet. We gave Twitter all this power and influence, and in turn, it became the outsized bullhorn for what matters. Yes, it gave rise to amazing social movements, built awareness for things around the world that we need to be paying attention to, and birthed a billion memes that made us smile. We got Black Twitter, NBA Twitter. I would say sneaker Twitter, but the discourse is 90% I hate sneakers. So yeah, Black Twitter and NBA Twitter. But it's also become a place where the worst people organize to target marginalized groups and post for giggles. The olds in power use Twitter to get out their crappy thoughts with zero nuance, and because the news, who are also run by the olds, has to cover those crappy thoughts with zero nuance, we have to hear it outside of Twitter. Basically, olds ruin Twitter like your high school friends who have thoughts about Beyonce ruined Facebook. What's crazy is that Elon asked for this. He basically tweeted this scenario into existence. But now he won't be able to tweet through it if things don't go his way. See, unlike Tesla and SpaceX, Twitter ain't aspirational that only those with the means to buy in can enjoy. Even those free speech bros he loves to cater to will turn on him in a whim. So yes, give us the edit button, fix the algorithm so I never have to see why Machine Gun Kelly or a Kardashian is trending again, whack the body counts, finally give me the power to create environments where I can be around people who share my interests. You know, like on a Discord server, or a Slack channel, or a TikTok algorithm that feeds me cool videos of people who cook amazing stuff with their air fryers. I would say Clubhouse, but then Elon showed up and now all people want to do is talk about crypto. But yeah, I have all these alternatives to Twitter already. So why am I even bothering with Twitter again? We moved on from AOL, Yahoo Messenger, MySpace, Tumblr, Friendster, Vine, Google+, and other platforms. Twitter wasn't the first, and it definitely won't be the last. Co-writer, he thinks Facebook will hang around, but I have my doubts about that. I mean, TikTok is practically a baby in internet years, but it's already more than double Twitter's 436 million active users. Instagram has more than TikTok for now, and Snapchat might not be grabbing the headlines, but it's quietly thriving on the low. If any of these platforms were to create a Twitter-like tab on their apps, Twitter might crash like all those companies that made GPS devices did when Google and Apple put maps on their phones. If the sale does happen, I predict Elon's genius and fresh set of eyes will improve a lot of Twitter on the technical side, but his presence and his tweets will do nothing to change the perceptions that it's a cesspool of stupid with funny memes that we realize we can get elsewhere. You know what? We never should have let Elon cameo in Iron Man 2. He got the attention bug, and now we're here. Can you all imagine a world where he never develops the thirst to have the world revolve around his thoughts every 48 hours? He would just consume himself with building cool like electric cars, rockets to Mars, flamethrowers, and ice beams. And if Elon was going to risk Tesla for something, he should have gone after Nike instead. Could you imagine how high his universal approval rating would be if he solved the sneakers app? But you know who should have never gotten their cameo cut in Iron Man 1? Ghostface Killer. Tony Stark's meet Tony Stark, becomes the next War Machine instead of Don Cheadle, and he gets his own Disney Plus show. Damn it, Jon Favreau. This is all your fault. Anyway, it's time for this week's Hard Pass. We're going to take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like the Nike Dunk Genesis NFT. Okay, so this is actually less of a Hard Pass and more of a plea to you, the Hard Pass viewer, who gets NFTs. What I'm going to do right now is try to explain what this new sneaker is as best I can, but I need you to fill in the gaps. Okay, so earlier this year, Artifact and Nike introduced a mystery box NFT. These digital boxes were sent to people who owned a different NFT powered by Artifact, while the rest was made available on NFT trading platform OpenSea for a minimum of 5.6 Ethereum, which at the time was worth around $16,000. In plain English, you could buy Nike's digital mystery box for $16,000. Over the next few weeks, owners of the box had to complete a variety of challenges posted by Artifact, not unlike what you do with an augmented reality game. When an owner completed all of the challenges, they unlocked a digital sneaker called the Nike Dunk Genesis, which looks like a futuristic version of the Nike Dunk Disrupt with their exaggerated midsoles and acronym-esque heel clips. Now, this is where it gets a little confusing, so bear with me. These digital sneakers all come in a base colorway of gray and teal. You can sell or auction off these sneakers on OpenSea right now for the equivalent of around 2.5 to 3 Ethereum, or the equivalent of as much as $9,000. But along with unlocking the Dunk Genesis, you also receive a random vial that allows you to upgrade the look of your dunks so they look different and become inherently rarer. It's like when you play Fortnite and buy skins to change the look of your base character. The vials can change your Dunk Genesis to look like a mech or a Greek god or a Takashi Murakami piece and eventually evolve a la Pokemon. So, people have a few different options should they decide to unload their digital sneakers. They can sell the Dunk Genesis and the vial separately, or they can upgrade the Dunk Genesis that they already have when they use the vial. Now, if you want, you can also keep the shoe for reasons, I guess, but you can also show them off via the Snapchat filter, which is a pretty expensive Snapchat filter now that I think about it. Oh, and you can't actually redeem these NFTs for a real-life version of this sneaker for now. Your Nike Dunk Genesis that has angel wings, that's just for the blockchain, baby. So, yeah, that sounds like a lot of work and money for a sneaker that I'll never be able to wear. If I were comparing these to physical cards, it would be like buying a $15,000 box of 21-22 Panini Flawless Basketball like Drake did, and pulling a true rookie patch autograph card of Tyrese Halliburton, which goes for around $3K. Yeah, it's a nice card that could be worth more down the line, but not exactly a great return on investment. Showing the Dunk Genesis off via a Snapchat filter sounds a little interesting, especially if that filter was exclusive only to people who own the NFT, but what's the value when I don't feel like pulling it out on my phone? I guess someday when we're all wearing augmented reality glasses, it's going to be lit with everybody's Dunk Genesis kicks, but what about right now? And this is where I turn to everybody in the comments. What do you think of my explanation? Am I right? Did it make sense? Am I way off base? Will these Dunk Genesis NFTs only grow in value, or is this a wave that will eventually die down? Let me know. Anyway, that's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week. If you'd like to possibly be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message, your socials if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right, I'll see you next week. Peace. Before I go, shout out to One Piece episode 1015, GOAT level anime, right up there with like Dragon Ball Z 237, Cowboy Bebop 26, Gungrave 14, Neon Genesis Evangelion 19, Attack on Titan season 3 episode 17, Samurai